In January 2025, China shook the tech world by unveiling Deepseek, an artificial intelligence company capable of competing with global leaders like OpenAI or Google, while offering solutions at much more competitive costs. This announcement not only surprised the whole world, it also sounded an alarm in Washington, Paris, New Delhi, and beyond. Revealing an undeniable truth, artificial intelligence is no longer just a technological innovation, but a strategic lever that is redefining the balance of geopolitical power. The mastery of AI is based on three fundamental pillars: colossal computing power, abundant energy resources to power ever larger data centers, and a pool of human talent capable of designing ever higher performing models. In the face of these requirements, major powers like the United States and China, as well as the European Union, are engaged in a frantic race, while emerging nations such as India or Russia are trying to position themselves. But this competition raises a crucial question. Will AI become a field of international collaboration or a battleground of heightened rivalry? At the moment, the evidence clearly points toward the latter. Dominance in artificial intelligence first requires massive investments in infrastructure, and the major powers are competing to secure their lead. In the United States, the Trump administration, from the very first days of its term in January 2025, unveiled the Stargate project. To my great dismay, it's not a reboot of the science fiction series, but an initiative allocating $500 billion to strengthen the artificial intelligence infrastructure of the private sector. This ambitious plan aims to multiply data centers across the country, modernize power grids to meet growing energy needs, and support companies like NVIDIA or Intel in the production of advanced chips. The goal is clear: to maintain American technological supremacy in the face of increasingly tough Chinese competition. In Europe, France has taken a leading position. At the Summit for Action on Artificial Intelligence held in Paris in February 2025, the French government announced an investment of $112 billion over 5 years. This funding includes $20 billion from Canadian investment companies for research projects and $50 billion from the United Arab Emirates to build eco-friendly data centers, and massive support for Mistral, a French startup developing open-source AI models. Mistral, often compared to OpenAI or Deepseek, also benefits from a partnership with the French Alternative Energies and Atomic Energy Commission to use supercomputers like Jinzhei, one of the most powerful in Europe. At the European Union level, the Horizon Europe program has been strengthened with an additional 15 billion euros by 2030, aiming to fund transnational projects and coordinate efforts through the European AI Alliance. However, transnational projects and coordinating efforts through the European AI Alliance. Internal tensions, especially between France, which favors innovation, and Germany, which is more focused on regulation, are hindering the development of a homogeneous strategy. China, on the other hand, has a structural advantage. In recent years, Beijing has invested massively in data centers, especially in western provinces like Xinjiang or Guangzhou, where cheap hydroelectric power is abundant. Companies like Big Data, Alibaba, and Tencent have invested billions in additional facilities, often in partnership with the state. In 2024, China had more than 400 operational data centers, a number that far exceeds that of the United States with about 300 or Europe with about 250. This excess capacity allows Beijing to support cutting-edge AI while also exporting this technology to strategic allies, thereby strengthening its global influence. As AI reshapes the dynamics of global power, leading companies like NVIDIA, AMD, ASML, Palantir, and Alphabet continue to push technological boundaries. Yet, they remain vulnerable to macroeconomic forces. The ongoing tariff war underscores this reality. After a peak in February 2025, the AI sector underwent a significant correction. Since April, NVIDIA's stock has dropped by nearly 30%. This sharp decline reflects a broader pullback in the AI sector, as the market assesses the economic implications of global tensions. But for savvy investors, this market correction represents an opportunity. Long-term demand for AI technologies shows no signs of slowing down. Today's pullback could very well be tomorrow's springboard. Investors can enter the market at more attractive valuations to position themselves ahead of the next wave of growth. With Freedom. 24. A regulated online broker in Europe, You get direct access to the world's main stock exchange and can invest in stocks, ETFs, and other assets. Whether you're targeting AI leaders or seeking diversified exposure through ETFs, like Vanguard Information Technology or iShares Automation and Robotics, this allows you to benefit from the growth of the entire AI sector. Freedom 24 simplifies and speeds up this process. The parent company of Freedom 24 is listed on NASDAQ and complies with SEC reporting requirements. In France, Freedom 24 is registered with ACPR Rivalry and offers comprehensive customer service in French, ensuring transparency and a seamless experience for investors in France. Opening an account takes minutes and gives you instant access to many financial instruments. New clients funding their account by April's end get up to 20 bonus shares, each worth up to $800, including AI giants. So click on the link in the description and the pinned comment to open your Freedom 24 account for free and start investing today. While the United States, China, and Europe dominate the AI race, emerging countries like India and Russia are also seeking their place. However, their efforts are limited by structural constraints. India, with its booming technology sector, is relying on a pool of talent. More than 1.5 million engineers are trained each year. In 2024, the government launched the AI for All strategy with a budget of $10 billion over 10 years. This strategy aims to apply AI in key sectors, such as agriculture with weather forecasts and crop optimization, healthcare with automated diagnostics, and education with personalized learning platforms. Companies like Reliance Jio and Tata Consultancy Services are collaborating with universities like IIT Bombay to develop local models. However, India is still held back by a lack of advanced infrastructure, with only about 30 data centers, compared to, as you saw, hundreds in China, and a dependence on imported semiconductors, mainly coming from Taiwan and South Korea. Russia, on the other hand, sees AI more as a strategic tool to maintain its military parity with the West. In 2023, Vladimir Putin declared that whoever masters AI will dominate the world, a vision reflected by investments in Russian companies like Sberbank, which develops models for finance, or Yandex, known for its advances in AI applied to logistics. The budget allocated to AI is estimated at $5 billion by 2030. It focuses primarily on military applications, autonomous drones, cybersecurity systems, and strategic simulations. However, the international sanctions imposed since 2014 and strengthened after 2022 limit Moscow's access to advanced chips and foreign funding, which hinders its development in the civilian sector. But why don't these emerging countries reach the level of investment of China or the United States? First, their financial resources are limited. India prioritizes basic infrastructure like roads and electricity, and Russia focuses on its conventional defense. Next, they lack access to critical technologies such as semiconductors or rare earth elements, which are dominated by the two major powers, China and the United States. Finally, there is also a difference between the two giants. China benefits from centralized planning and a huge domestic market, while the United States relies on an innovative private sector and top universities like MIT or Stanford. These structural advantages create a gap that will be difficult to bridge for all emerging nations, including the European Union. But the competition for AI is also about controlling strategic resources. Since 2022, the United States has imposed restrictions on the export of advanced chips to China. This measure was strengthened in January 2025 by the Biden administration with limitations on semiconductor manufacturing equipment. Beijing responded by leveraging its dominance over rare earths. China controls 70% of global extraction and 90% of rare earth processing. So in 2024, it banned the export of strategic minerals such as neodymium and dysprosium, which are essential for chips and batteries. In Europe, France and the European Union are trying to reduce this dependence on minerals. The European Raw Materials Alliance project, launched in 2020, was given an additional 2 billion euros in 2025 to bring extraction back, especially in Sweden and Portugal, and to develop processing plants. France, through companies like Eramet, is also exploring partnerships in Africa to secure alternative supplies. However, these initiatives remain at the European level and truly struggle to compete with China's scale. For its part, India, rich in thorium and rare earth reserves, launched a plan in 2023 to increase its production, but its industrial capacities are still limited, with only 1% of global rare earth processing. As you know, this resource war reflects a deep rivalry. While occasional collaborations emerge, such as between France and the United Arab Emirates, or between India and Japan, when it comes to artificial intelligence training, they are rare and often motivated by tactical interests, such as acquiring knowledge, technology, or a market. The topic of AI remains highly contentious, with each power seeking to protect its technologies and hinder its competitors throughout the entire development chain. As you can see, AI is more than just a line of code on a computer or a chatbot like ChatGPT. It is redefining geopolitics by simultaneously influencing the economic, political, and military spheres, and it transcends traditional domains of power. So it has several impacts. Economically, AI offers major efficiency gains. In Europe, Mistral is developing tools for small and medium-sized businesses, while in India, AI is improving agricultural productivity in states like Punjab. In the United States, companies like Amazon use AI to optimize their supply chains, but these advances also have social consequences and threaten jobs. 3.6 million American truck drivers could be replaced by autonomous vehicles. Meanwhile, in countries like India, automation is likely to affect millions of workers. This upheaval could worsen inequalities, especially in emerging countries that are less prepared, with disastrous political consequences. Politically as well, AI amplifies the manipulation of information. I'm not talking here about boomers who get fooled by posts on Facebook, but Russia, for example, is deploying AI tools for its disinformation campaigns in Africa, producing targeted deepfakes in just a few hours. China uses AI to monitor its population through systems like the social credit system. In Europe, the European Union adopted the AI Act in 2024 to restrict the uses of AI, banning intrusive facial recognition technologies. But its implementation remains hindered by differences between member states and the ongoing debate between freedom and restriction. Militarily, AI is transforming the battlefield. Russia, for example, is developing autonomous drones tested in Ukraine, while France is integrating AI into the Scorpion program to coordinate its ground forces. In the United States, the Pentagon is funding projects like Maven that use AI to analyze surveillance data. These advances are widening the gap between leading nations and those that are lagging behind, ultimately reinforcing strategic imbalances. If drones have been the battlefield breakthrough since 2022, AI may be the defining factor in future conflicts. The race for AI is dominated by rivalry. International summits like the one in Paris in 2025 are trying to lay the foundations for global governance, but the results are meager. The United States and China are engaged in a real technological war, with mutual restrictions on chips and rare earths. The European Union is trying to assert itself as a third voice, but its 27 members are struggling to align their priorities. Emerging countries, although present, remain exceptions and are often on the sidelines, lacking the means or access to critical technologies. We may be witnessing a new fragmentation on a global scale, which suggests that AI, far from bringing people together, could actually exacerbate geopolitical tensions. The emergence of Deepseek in 2025 revealed the scale of what is at stake with AI. From the United States to China, including Europe, India, and Russia, each player is trying to secure its place in this technological revolution. For humanity, the implications of this transformation are profound. Artificial intelligence promises major economic and technological advances, but it also risks amplifying inequalities, destabilizing societies, and reshaping military balances while intensifying the race for resources. In this context, the question is no longer whether AI will change the world, but how and at what cost. Does AI already have an influence on your work or daily life? Here I've provided a macro analysis within the limits of my expertise, so it's mainly geopolitical. That's why I would also like to hear the opinions of real professionals who are closely involved in this field. Your feedback in the comments would be very valuable. Thanks to the sponsors of this video. Freedom 24. For a limited time, new clients who fund their investment account before the end of April will receive up to 20 bonus shares, each worth up to $800. Click on the link in the description in the pinned comment to open your free Freedom 24 account and start investing today. Please support the channel in simple ways. It's important for the YouTube algorithm. Thanks for your loyalty. This was Quentin for Terabellum. See you next time.